has captivated Western Pennsylvania and the nation. Today marks 30 years since 8-year-old Cherrie Mahan vanished after getting off.
She always told me that.
Cherrie was just 8 when she disappeared. She helped put a face on missing children nationwide. The first child ever on a Have You Seen Me mailer, still delivered to homes across the country. But today, for the first time in decades, Janice McKinney has hope, thanks to this man, Pennsylvania State Trooper Robert McGraw.
22nd, 1985. Her mother is pleading with anyone who knows anything about this case to please speak up. Tonight, state police tell Pittsburgh's Action News 4 they do not have any updates on this investigation to share at this time.
You won't find another friend like her.
The 1980s, a decade of cultural explosion, technological advancements, and a defined golden era of cinema and music. The economy thrived with malls becoming social hubs and kids embracing in the carefree joys of Saturday morning cartoons, neon fashion, and endless possibilities of the future. But beneath this bright and booming era lurked a much darker reality, one that had been festering since the 1970s. The rise in child abductions and disappearances cast a growing shadow over the nation, as cases like Aton Pates in 1979 and Adam Walsh in 1981 terrified parents and shattered the illusion of suburban safety. Stranger danger warnings became widespread. Faces of missing children appeared on milk cartons, and fear seeped into the collective consciousness, reminding the world that even in time of progress and prosperity, darkness was never too far away. Cherrie Mahan was born on August 14, 1976 in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. She was often described as vibrant, loving, big-hearted, and one of a kind.
She probably could talk your socks off. She just loved to tell you everything. She would tell you exactly what she did, where she went, how long she was there, who she went with. You could never ask her to keep a secret because she would tell everybody everything. My brother would take her on walks when he knew he should not, because everything that he did, she was going to tell everybody. And that got him into a lot of trouble, a lot of times, because she just told everybody everything.
On the morning of February 22, 1985, what was supposed to be routine turned into catastrophe. Cherrie went to school like normal and was seen getting off her bus that afternoon, but she never made it up the 150-yard driveway. For her mother, after just 10 minutes of her not arriving home from the bus stop, she knew something was wrong.
I was off all day. I had gone shopping because the dog that we had eaten the face off of her Care Bear, and I promised that I would buy her a new one, so I did. Leroy had worked in the morning, but he had come home. He worked kind of like a split shift at the post office. So we were at home. I was making dinner. We heard the bus. Leroy said, "Do you want me to go down and get her?" And I said no, because it was a beautiful day. The snow was melted. There was no reason why she couldn't have walked up the driveway. So we heard the bus, so we know that the bus came. We know that she got off the bus. It's just from the time she got off the bus, she never made it to our driveway. So somewhere between getting off the bus and making it to the bend on Corn Planter Road, something happened.
Following the 10 minutes of uncertainty, the McKinneys placed a call to the police and a search began. Cherrie's mother and stepfather ended up in Freeport, Pennsylvania, nearly 4 hours after she went missing, and no one knew that Cherrie was gone. The only thing uncovered at the McKinney residence was tire tracks, ending approximately 50 yards from the house. The heavily wooded and snowed-on area around the house was searched by Butler Police K-9 units and helicopters. nothing else was found. A detailed search of Butler County was conducted shortly after, with nearly 250 local volunteers who all came up empty. It was determined quickly by police that it was highly probable that Cherrie knew her abductors or abductor, hence the lack of obvious evidence. After 40 years, thousands of tips have flooded in about Cherrie, some even claiming to be her, but they've all been cold leads, and the truth about Cherrie remains a mystery to this day.
So we didn't really start getting very close to Janice until probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and seeing how Cherrie's disappearance weighed on her every single day. We just decided, leading up to the 40 years, and we went out to dinner with Janice, and she was like, I just don't know if I can do it another year, and that's when we decided to come together and make the page and reach out to resources like that to get her story out there, because Janice is, in the older generation and doesn't really know how to navigate social media in the way, and doesn't realize how powerful it can be for stuff like that. So that was kind of where we came in.
It's sometimes forgotten that beneath all the reports, media posts, articles, searches, and flyers, that Cherrie wasn't just a missing children's case. She was an 8-year-old little girl that was full of life.
Cherrie was, truthfully, Cherrie wanted to become a teacher. So she was always up all night long reading books. She'd lay on the floor, read a book. She just was always reading, always trying to teach somebody something.
Even people who haven't had the pleasure of meeting Cherrie have felt the joy she spread to others through memories shared by her family and friends.
I never knew Cherrie, obviously, but looking through pictures and hearing all these stories that Janice has told us over the years, she was a character. There's this one picture, and we can show you in the scrapbook after, of her, and she has this little smirk, and she reminds me a lot of her as a younger kid. Carly was wild, and she was a wild child, absolutely, and I can just tell by what Janice has said, so was Cherrie. She had a ton of personality, and she was fun and loving, and working on this case for the past almost 5 months, we always say it's our second full-time job. We clock out of our 9 to 5 and into our 5 to 9, but it's changed my life.
Over the decades, Janice has gone through what no parent should, living the unknown. With no direct answers about what happened to Cherrie, every birthday, holiday, and anniversary is often a bitter reminder of not knowing.
The first year was horrible. I tell everybody this. I did enough drugs to probably kill an elephant, because the pain was horrible and I didn't want to be in pain anymore. But that did not stop the pain. So after about a year, I shaped up. I haven't done drugs since. But there's never, since the first year, there's not ever been a February 22nd where I have not done something for her or been to Cornplanter Road.
The many tattoos on Janice are dedicated to Cherrie, specifically the 41 that represents the 41st year after Cherrie's disappearance, and hopefully the year that the truth unfolds and answers are given.
I love tattoos. I got a 41, and I do believe by next February we'll know for sure exactly what happened.
Janice, Bailey, and Carly all expressed the importance of new technology in order to share information about missing children as soon as possible.
It's important for people in the community to come together with cases like this sometimes, especially small towns. A lot of times people know things or they hear things, and it takes years for that to come to light, but we are way closer than we've ever been because of the help of the community coming together and speaking out and leaving tips, and yeah.
Cherrie was just one of thousands of kids that went missing in the 1980s. part of the many that have never been recovered. With so many cases that have gone cold and been closed, Cherrie is a reminder that if there are people that know her story and have a will to find her, the efforts in solving her case will never end.